Could Leon Kennedy survive Lethal Company? Sounds good, but I don't know a lot about the character to give him a good shake. Maybe could Gordon Freeman survive Lethal Company? Nah, same thing. I'm not really well versed in Half-Life lore. Ooh, what about Left 4 Dead? I know both groups of the survivors very well. It would just be a longer video to make. And I guess I'd like to take more care with that when I get these videos under wraps.
Bronco!
What the hell? How'd you get in my
Doesn't matter. Look, what kind of ideas are these? These are horrible characters to use for your video. You need to use one of my ideas.
What I need to do is call the cops, and you need to get the hell out of here.
Just listen, please.
Fine. I'm giving you 10 seconds to explain.
I have a top-tier choice for you. His name is Freddy Fazbear.
You're joking, right? This is a joke. You came in here to tell me a joke, right?
Okay, I see you didn't like that one. Let's move to my second pick. Pomni, from the Amazing Digital Circus. You ever watch it?
I give you a
What are
chance.
you doing?
Get out.
Hey,
Nope,
stop
get.
it. Don't-
I am
don't
not
push
letting
me.
you back in.
Wait,
You
don't
never,
throw me out,
never,
please.
ever come
My
back.
ideas are good,
Please
I promise. What
stay
about
away from me.
Skibidi Toilet?
Goddamn psycho.
Did somebody say psycho?
Oh, come on. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the series. Today, we take a look at a certain person who has some cyber capabilities up their sleeves. Or in their arms, I guess. Or anywhere on their body, I think. Today, we take a look at V from Cyberpunk 2077. At first, I was gonna do Johnny Silverhand, but then I realized that V is kind of more of a fun character to do than him, so instead went with him in the end. Also, from this point on, I'm going to refer to V as a he because I chose him as a male when I play my game. I know a lot of people prefer female V's voice actor, but to me, I really like how the male sounds, so anyone that hates, you can sound off down below, but male V is superior. Just as a little fun side note, I also consider to do David Martinez from Edge Runners, which if you haven't seen Edge Runners, I highly recommend you do so because it's literally the reason why Cyberpunk even came back. But if people really want to see him, I'll gladly do a video about it. Same for Johnny, just let me know down below. So as always, before we get into the character, we're going to delve into the contract a little bit. And ultimately, once again, for the third time, I'm going to be correcting the contract so it makes more sense. Specifically, the math and our calculation of the total required amount. Truth be told, I'm not super smart with numbers, but someone who's a little bit better than I am, you know, just a little bit better at math, found out that my calculation was incorrect. I also got my friends involved to hear what they had to say, and they ultimately had to agree with what this commenter had to say. So let's delve into the contract just once more, hopefully. So Professor Greenprobe brings up that, in my previous calculations, I'm only adding 500 per quota increase, which does not include the previous quota amount. So as a small example of how important that mistake is, we'll do a short demonstration. So we'll start off with my calculation. We have our starting 130 quota, like normal, but also the additional 500 added every 3 days. So what I did was just add 500 every 3 days, so by the 9 days, the total of my calculation would be $1,630. If we use Greenprobe's math, by day 9, we'll have $3,390. So if we take into account that your quota resets after each successful mark, by 9 days, you would need to earn a total of $3,390 worth of items instead of $1,630. Class, I want a round of applause for our helpful teacher, Greenprobe. So by using his calculations, the total amount of money you would actually need is a whopping $236,530. That is a significant difference between the old 15,130 that I said. I am putting up their comment currently, but I am also not smart enough to give an actual equation for this calculation, and I also did include the random index that the game actually uses to calculate the random quota amount, but I did fix the basic math. So everything else about the contract stays the same. 90 days, 3 days in between, there's 30 increases, except now the total is just $236,530. So with the contract being fixed and a little bit more realistic, time to move on to V, the man who's been making his name in Night City. If you live under a rock and don't know, V in Cyberpunk is an absolute beast when it comes to what he's capable of. In fact, I think telling you that what he couldn't do would be quicker than the list of things that he could do. So we'll start off with he can't teleport, he can't fly. That's it. That's all I can think of. And even then, he comes close to doing all of those things. V is easily capable of fighting hundreds on one situations. He might have not done it technically in game, but the amount of destruction and violence he leaves in his wake, it's undoubtedly he could do it. He also can just modify himself for any situation he needs. Oh, do you own a security system? Boom, he's in. He has netrunner abilities. Do you own a small militia bodyguard? Boom, they're dead within literal seconds because of his Sandevistan. If he sets his sights on something, I don't think anything's going to stop him, really. I'd say one of, if not the only downsides to V as a character is that he isn't that very bright. At least in reading characters. He's been double-crossed and lied to before in the game many times. So if he was up against someone who could play very good mind games, they might win over him in that battle. However, there hasn't been anything he can't shoot and kill his way out of. Except the biochip. Now with the biochip being brought up, I think it's safe to say that V is only capable of what he is with that biochip. Honestly, if he didn't have the chip, I think he would be like a street-level thug at best, power-wise. However, he does have the biochip. Because of that, he is a walking death machine. So for this situation, for the first time in the series, I will not be nerfing V in any way. I've made the conscious effort in this video to lift the restriction rule that I've had for my previous two. I read some comments from my previous two videos saying how certain restrictions I've put on the characters aren't fair for the characters, which was what I intended because I did want to have balance in this scenario, but this time around though, through friends and also just reading your reviews, I will not nerf this character in this video. I'll review any comments you guys leave about if you like these kind of videos with characters with no restrictions. If so, we can start delving into things like Space Marines my friend suggested, or like Halo, Spartans, the Doomslayer, etc. How does V stand up inside of Lethal Company? Okay, to start off, V is such a big can of worms when it comes to this scenario that I don't even know if I should even section it as its own separate weather, monsters, etc. Literally, his get out of jail free card that I can only think of is his Sandevistan. If at any point he feels threatened in any situation, he could just pop his Sandevistan to get out of there. The only things that I think could really kill him are anything that's instant. Like maybe a shotgun blast from the Nutcracker, but even then he's proven himself to take shotgun shells, LMG shots, sniper shots, hell, even RPGs and explosives. Straight up tanks it. Plus, even if he activates his Sandevistan, the creature or whatever's trying to kill him is not even going to realize what happened in a matter of seconds. He would run circles around a Thumper. Hell, he could even outrun a goddamn landmine, I think, since they only go off when you step off of it. Any gap or terrain that would be a problem for him, he would just either double jump over it, long jump over it, high jump. It's crazy what he can honestly do. I also don't think any weather would affect him really, like maybe a lightning strike, but even then he gets tased, electrocuted in the game all the time. I don't think a lightning strike would honestly do much. Any threat is null void for him. Dude, I even think that he could probably kill some of the unkillable creatures. Coilhead, he could probably bash it in with his gorilla arms, shoot it with a rocket. The Jester comes up, cut that dude in half with his blades. He'd probably snap the neck for Bracken, or even stab it to death. He would bash in a loot bug, shoot up a Thumper, outrun the Ghost Girl, karate chop a baboon hawk in the head for crying out loud, uppercut an eyeless dog while he's at it, cut a giant in half. I could go on. So without a doubt, I think V could easily survive the contract of Lethal Company. He literally is like a swift army knife kind of character. Any situation, he has an answer for it. Something I want to add to this video, just since it seems like he's easily beating this, is another layer of motivation for characters. In my previous videos, people have asked what their motivations might be to survive a contract minus just surviving. So for Isaac, it would probably be, going to see Nicole, even though he knows she probably died. Elster would probably finish a contract to see Irene if it was a promise guarantee. So for V, what I've just decided is probably just removing the biochip. Since that's the main goal of the base game, like the entire time, V's just trying to figure out how to get that biochip out of his head. I don't doubt that would also be his goal if the company promised it. Undoubtedly, having Johnny in your head the entire time through a contract would make any person sane insane. Or I guess you could say, a psycho. Hey there everyone, hope you all enjoyed this episode. Like I said in the beginning, I did consider Johnny and David for this video, but ultimately chose V. Partially because he is playable, so a lot of people have played the game, I'm sure. And he's also just more OP than Johnny and David. And also to see how an OP character would do in this kind of scenario. So let me know down below, would you guys want to see more OP characters, or would you rather see the more average realistic character in this scenario? Doing this video has also put me into a huge Cyberpunk mode, so I'm actually going to finish Fan at Liberty since I never did. But other than that, as always, hope you guys liked the video, and any comments you leave, shoot them down below. Let me know if I left anything important out this time. Maybe my math is still wrong, or if I overlooked something V can do or can't do. Whatever it may be, you're more than welcome to share. So with all of that said, we come to the end of another video. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day and or night, and I'll catch you all in the next one.